if you guys got a chance to look it over or not. I used the same number we had last year. Within the budget, I moved a couple items around a little bit. If you go down through it, I'm not gonna read every item, like, let's say diesel fuel. We had budgeted 15,000 last year, cause that was pretty close to what we had spent. So I just left it at 15,000 this year. We're probably gonna end up spending a little over 10 when we have the December reading done. I mean, you know yourself, Brian, who knows what we're gonna pay for fuel next year? The way it's going right now, it looks great, but it could spike.
Well, I mean, right now, the general, conventional wisdom is that it's gonna be level through 2016 and into 2017.
Till after the election.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That being said though, I mean, all it takes is one bomb over the Mideast or
yeah,
a
that-
hurricane wipe out a couple of
So I thought,
refineries.
for the $5,000, I mean, we didn't spend it, the money's there, I mean, it's gonna go back,
It's contingency.
you know what I mean? So it means, I just left it the same, cause that's such a weird thing. The maintenance thing on, I moved that around a little bit because we're gonna have to do a little something to our international truck, even though we're talking about possibly replacing it in 2017, like paint the dump body or something, it's gotten very, very rusty, and just to keep it and do a little welding in the bed. So I had increased that a little bit, if you look through and see that.
Yeah, 4,000.
Yeah, we had 10,000 last year, you know what I mean, I moved it up there. You'll see a big difference, the tree cutting part of this whole
Yeah,
thing.
she went down. So-
Well, in anticipation last year of doing the job on Grapevine Road, I had bumped that up, cause I knew we had to do a lot of tree cutting. Well, we got the warrant article passed, and so when we did the tree cutting, it actually ended up coming out of the warrant article money, I mean. So that's why there's such a big, we still got 2 or 3 dead trees that are supposed to get taken down by the end of the year here in town. Those are still gonna come, including that one.
Yeah.
So you know what, that's why that's so big, and that's why I reduced it this year. I mean, that was just kind of a matter of accounting, we could've taken it all out of here till this one was, dried this one up or whatever. To me, it just made more sense, it was a cost we could, a direct cost we could attribute to that particular project. The winter, I mean, kept all that the same because it's ended up being, it's working out.
We dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I mean,
So
usually by this time we've gone out a little bit, and it's, who's to say after Christmas we won't like, looking at the long range forecast.
it's not looking like it.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
That salt ain't gonna go bad sitting there.
Hmm?
That salt will not go bad sitting
Well, last year I had a little issue, it was kinda hard to get at one point during the season.
Yeah.
We were, contract obligation was good, but getting delivered and stuff, that was where our big problem was.
there. The
You
whole
know,
seal
and
is what
it's, sometimes you're getting down to nothing and you wonder if they're gonna come and get an order in and you don't know, and days go by and all of a sudden the truck roll shows up, so I had the opportunity to just fill the thing up and fill it right up, and it's at a good price.
Do we mix our own sand and salt, or does it
Yes.
come, we do?
We buy the salt, bulk, rock salt, and
Yeah.
we get the sand, and then we mix it together in the storage facility there, we got approximately enough area to put 500 or 600 yards of mixed up sand and salt undercover, and then we have another bin that we keep the salt in, straight salt in.
And we don't use any of that liquid,
No.
do we? We don't spray the sand pile or anything?
No, we don't have the capabilities for it,
Yeah.
so. Well,
So you
Brian
have a
can
different-
attest to this, the DOT's constantly fooling with that and trying to come up with a
Yeah.
system.
With brine, yeah, they
brine.
do the wet system, yeah,
Yeah.
all the trucks are being equipped with the wet system, they're all doing brine now.
Yeah.
EPA is really cracking down on that kinda stuff. I
Why,
think-
they don't want you to do it?
No, they do.
Oh, they do.
Because what happens, it activates the salt and keeps it sticking to the road
Right.
sooner, so it doesn't hit the road and bounce off.
Yeah,
And also, you can go and just put the wet down ahead of
Yeah.
time before a snowstorm, so
Yeah.
that way
get a little bit ahead of it.
it gets ahead of it, the snow hits it, or water, ice, whatever, and then it melts earlier, quicker, and that way they don't have to go out as fast.
Yeah.
And also when they do get out there, it's already mushing up and, you know,
It's all
peeling
mushy,
off.
yeah.
The thing is, it has a glaze over the point,
It
that's
does.
pretty
Yeah.
tricky, that's why they have so many accidents on 93.
You
Those
gotta-
pileups all of a sudden.
You gotta be careful with it, because like he says, I mean, it, you know, at 1 minute it's there, and all of a sudden the temperature changes just
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit, and it's,
You know,
It's a rank.
glaze, yeah.
They I mean, they have a science to it.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sure
like
they
it's
do.
and
Mhm.
they are working the bugs out of it,
Yeah,
oh yeah.
along with everything else.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, 93, we have to do it, we're required to.
and
yeah,
it's not, refined enough yet to filter down to the towns and stuff.
A big town or city, maybe, if they want to be.
Well, I know
adventurous.
Merrimack does it, my brother-in-law works in
Well, it's cause they're in
Merrimack
that,
on
they're in
DPW.
that area.
Yeah, and, he drives on one of the sand trucks or what have you, or whatever. And I know they've got a station where they back the vehicle under, I guess, and,
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, more equipment, more everything, and
yeah,
that stuff's highly corrosive too.
Yeah.
It's more so than corrosive,
yeah,
but
Specialized equipment, I mean, you're talking stainless steel fittings and stuff like that,
Yeah.
plastic tanks.
one year Bo got hot on a product, and basically it was like
Molasses,
sticky
wasn't it?
molasses type
Yeah,
product,
I
and
remember
they coated the road with it, and the theory was, and it was a good theory, but they got involved with it and tried it, and then when you put material down, it would actually kinda stick to it, like
Oh,
Brian says,
yeah.
but they didn't pan out very well, it was in the infancy
Yeah.
stages of that, so they did away with that. And like, you know, it's just eventually, probably, you know, I mean, maybe not in my tenure, but there'll probably be a lot different methods to
Yeah.
do all this stuff. But it's-
Of course,
Right now, this is the method.
yeah,
Of course, his definition of sand is different. You know, big rocks, small rocks.
oh, yeah, yeah,
Some people call it gravel, some people call it sand.
Yeah.
I'm kidding you, Jeff.
yeah.
It used to be a lot worse,
Oh,
Yeah.
you're not kidding, I remember those days.
6-inch rock in the middle of the road,
Oh, yeah,
but whatever.
banging down the highway.
Anyhow,
Half of it ended up in stone walls.
to answer your question, we don't use that.
Okay, thanks.
So, having said that, I mean, I don't know if you got any questions on that part of it or not. I mean, obviously, you know, you could say, could you do with less? Yeah, you could cut it, we could do with less, but we're not gonna gain anywhere in the
What,
road.
what do you have for paving projects built into this?
Well, that's gonna be a two-part deal, that's what I was wondering about. If I had my brothers, I would've asked for like $100,000 more in the budget and go paving, but after last year's discussion, all that, it was viewed, it was more practical to go for a warrant article. So I'm gonna ask for a warrant article as well, but we're gonna continue on a grapevine project. Just to put the top layer of asphalt on what we've done this past year. With, you know, little related shoulder work, tying the driveways and everything else, at today's rate is gonna be approximately $100,000. About $88,000 in asphalt costs.
And that's not to add any more length to it.
Nope, that's just to
to
overlay what
the
we
over-
paved,
over
cause we just
coat
put
on
the base coat down this year. So that's that facet of it, and it
Yeah.
depends how we play out with the budget, I mean, that would be, we should put a top coat on it, you shouldn't, that's a binder mix they call it, it's
Yeah.
very porous.
Very porous,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you don't wanna leave that very long, cause the water will get in and start deteriorating. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of guys in the industry will say, well, you can leave it a year. I personally, I mean, you know, 2 years, 2 seasons, I would not like to, cause I think it's better to get it sealed up with a wear course and it's tighter. I mean, you've invested all that money,
Yeah.
you should really do it.
After 2 seasons, you get a lot of water and crap in there and it just, it breaks it apart down much quicker.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's,
Agreed.
it's stronger for the base, and that's fine, but it's designed to have a wear coat put on it. And it's typical construction practices to do the base 1 year and wait up, let it go through a freeze thaw cycle
Yeah.
and do the top.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, sometimes you have some imperfections or problems or whatever,
Yeah.
it's just the
The way
way.
this one is going, it may take 2 years for a freeze
Yeah.
thaw.
Well, you never know where, you know, you may end up with a heating issue because of ice or
Yeah,
whatever.
and,
absolutely.
you know, you're gonna have those everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, as much effort and what we put into that, it's still New England and.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that way you wanna fix them, you can take and put that coat.
Yeah,
put
if
the-
you-
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have some issue that.
Now, I see some, pipe laying on the side of the road going down that hill.
Yeah.
Is that part of your project, or is that,
Yeah, that
Something
was,
else.
I had, when I ordered the pipe, I ordered a full truckload,
yeah,
and there's a culvert right there.
yeah,
It's a metal culvert. And the problem we've got with those metal culverts is they're rusting out.
Yeah.
The acidy water or whatever, and at the time they were put in, it was typical to use a galvanized pipe. Everybody liked to use them, they're 20-foot lengths, easy to handle, put in,
yeah,
you know.
lightweight, yeah.
Well, fairly rigid, and
Yeah.
it was accepted practice. Well, that's the downside. We changed some others on that road, and originally, when I first planned the project, I wasn't gonna touch it. inspection, the bottom one was very rusty, if you took a hit hammer, you could actually hit it.
Kinda like the Stark Bridge.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, yeah, we could cut back and save some money, not change them. They were still there, they probably would never bother again in my lifetime, and they'd be someone else's problem, but I thought the extent of the work we were doing there, grinding it up, adding gravel and all that, it was wise.
So these
to put-
culverts run below the road, don't they?
Yes,
Across the road, yeah.
And that's what that is,
Yeah.
and that was for that.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens in town meeting and all that in the budget, they might say, alright, you know, maybe they're not that bad, but I tend to think that type of job when you're doing that you really should.
Yeah, change the road.
Yeah, and then they won't be a problem.
Yeah, otherwise you take it
Cause
back up.
if you went around town now and looked at these culverts, there's a lot of these old cement culverts, you know, like over by Brian's house and stuff that were put in. The integrity of the pipe is still good. It really is, you'd be surprised, and those things were put in the fifties maybe, I don't know.
Well, I know the one by my house, so I put that in, I wanna say probably about 40 years ago, and it still looks
Yeah.
pretty decent on each end.
The biggest problem you have with them is they're too short for the road, because the road's, you know.
Yeah.
Well, they come in like,
18
they come in
feet.
like 4 foot lengths.
Yeah, they used to refer to it as prison pipe, cause they made it in prison at one time. They come in 4-foot sections. They don't have a gasketed joint, they used to just stick together.
Taper.
And typically, you would mortar the thing in, but most of the time that never happened.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are only 12 inches. And typically you like to use no smaller than 12, but 15 is a little better. Is what we recommend. So, having said that, the concrete pipe, you know, like I said, the integrity was still good all those number of years
Sure.
later. So it's a good value, and that's what we require at the planning board level too, for
Yeah.
anybody doing the development, to put that in.
Yeah.
They went through a phase for a while where you didn't have to do that in the beginning, then they went to concrete, then it got changed to plastic, cause there's some good plastic products. But I'm not 100% sold on the plastic ones. I think the concrete's a better value.
Well, for the last 40+ years.
Well,
I'd argue
in
with it.
actuality, it isn't really that much more expensive than plastic.
A little bit more work, that's what.
Yeah, that's the problem, it's
Yeah.
more labor intense to put it in, it comes in 8-foot lengths, but if you're used to doing it, it's not really that bad at
Yeah.
the job. You know, we've got a couple, one down at Tucker Hill, there's something really going on with it, cause every time you go, you can feel there's a little dip in the road.
Oh, yeah.
now. And if they're not installed correctly, embedded correctly, a lot of times you have, they collapse.
Yep.
A bit. Now,
You don't want the plastic?
yeah,
They gotta
this
be, they gotta be
ABS.
compacted right.
Yeah, and there's a real process to install those, you have to use select materials,
Yep.
stone all the way around the pipe, the whole area, so it folds.
Those other.
So I mean, I think if you took everything and added it all up, probably the cost is about the same, except for with the concrete, you're gonna have longevity.
Okay.
No, you do the culverts, you get the proper rents to do the culverts, right?
Well, the real wetlands ones we do, but the ones that are just cross culverts, seasonal cross culverts.
I mean, cause I was reading that, book, you know, the Hard Road to Travel, the way it reads in there, and I had to check with the folks at DOT, but what I understand was, anytime you replace a culvert.
Well, they have a deal now that they came out with on getting certified, they
Yes,
just
they
put
do.
that thing through in the last couple of years.
Yes, they have.
They passed it, tried passing legislative level, and then there was a big to-do on who was gonna, I wanna say, control it or whatever the factor of it. And then they kinda overthought it in the beginning and made it more complicated, now they've simplified it. I haven't personally got certified yet, but it's on my list of things to do.
Yeah, I think T-Squared does it, one of the.
Yeah, you can do it through them, for a while you had to be a road scholar
Yeah,
guy in it, so you had to be the maximum part of that.
right.
Or you could work under someone,
Mhm.
like if, you know, the guy's where Tim Redmond, he's a road scholar, master road scholar.
Yep.
So I was working under him. And, but I'm gonna now they've simplified the process, you don't need to do that.
Right.
So I'm gonna get it for myself. Then you're allowed to go up to 48-inch pipe without,
We should be fine there.
yes, cause anything else is gonna
Yeah.
be that
Huge,
designed
Yeah.
thing that we're in do now.
like the Stark Bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Well, cause I know that speaking of.
Cause
Stark-
what they were doing is they tried to simplify it for municipalities,
Right.
cause that was everybody's complaint, it was just too cumbersome, too complicated for really no good reason. Cause they're
Understand.
existing,
Yeah, cause then when you mentioned Stock Bridge and doing it, you know, crossing your T's and dotting your I's and all that stuff, that's when it, and then we were just talking about colors, that's when it dawned on me,
Yeah.
that's why I thought I'd ask, just,
you know.
because again, it's the way of the world, we need to dot our I's and
Yeah.
cross our T's.
Yep.
So,
So, having said that,
mhm,
my plan was to continue down Grapevine. We've done the worst section of the Grapevine. It's gonna be the most amount of money invested per square foot. Basically from the point where we stopped, which was Tenny Hill Road, cause it was an intersection.
mhm,
Down, all except for one little section has actually been dug up and rebuilt, and there's a good layer of gravel in it. It's just only one layer of pavement. We have some water issues here and there, stuff like that, but I guess the dollars are gonna go further in this next section is what I'm trying to get. We won't have to buy as much gravel.
or just we'll grind it up and add.
Grind it up in place, and there's a few spots where we'll have to add some gravel, some stone, cause it's,
Mhm,
the subgrade's a little weak, but there's some water issues we gotta take care of with the undergrade.
that's beautiful.
So, again,
Mhm,
per foot, we're gonna get more bang for
Yep.
the buck this time.
so,
So having said that,
mhm.
I'd like to craft some sort of warrant article. What can I ask for a number? I mean, you don't have to answer me tonight.
What do you, I guess the question for you would be more like, what do you recommend as a number? Do what you.
I mean, we went for 200,000 last year and
Right.
the voters went for it. I don't really think the temperament of our voters this year, they're gonna be too happy with it, cause I think when they got their tax bill, they probably were a little upset.
I understand that.
Yeah, for more reasons than one, I mean, it
Well,
wasn't
you need
just,
100,000.
wasn't just the highway department,
No,
Oh, no,
it was just life in general.
yeah,
but you want 100,000 for a grapevine to with the top coat and the shouldering and
Yeah.
aprons.
I would like to ask for at least 100,000.
So I mean, I wrote that down, so I'm thinking that's a
Yeah.
minimum starting point, but I mean,
Yeah.
if you need more than.
Well,
what you-
again, it's that, the more we get, the more further we can go with the dollars,
Right.
you know, that's the thing.
Perhaps you ought to do two separate warrant articles, 100,000 twice, one for the paving and then one for improvements with the big road.
or extend.
That way, one,
Put it
you know,
down.
you're almost hoping you'll be guaranteed
I think
to
you
get
just
to pass.
ask for one number. but-
Yeah, they can always
What number?
adjust it, they can
Yeah,
amend it.
just,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, to me, I would think, well, he's asking for 100 here, 100 here, 100 there, you kinda nickel dime,
Nickel
not
dime
nickel
it.
dime us to
I know what
death,
you
but,
mean,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's all I was thinking of that. But I mean, I know you're early in your budget process and what the impact of all this is gonna be, so we could revisit that another night.
Absolutely, but.
I mean, we don't have to walk
Well, I
out of
think
here with this.
if you think it should be another number, at least for budgeting purposes, let's put the other number out there. And knowing.
Well, I
if
would
you
love
have
to ask
back
for the
it
200,000,
down, You know, if you have to back it down, you do,
Yeah.
but I think just, you know, for us.
cause we're talking a
where we are.
warrant article.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and then we'll, you know, as we get a better look at the whole picture, then
Yeah.
we'll make
But-
adjustments accordingly. But I think, you know, you as the road guy should
Yeah,
mhm,
come
Well-
in with what your recommendation is.
yeah,
mhm.
at least 100,000.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we could convince people to spend two, but I just wouldn't think, like I said, with the tax increase, and I don't know what else is coming down the pipe for, you know, contending,
I'm taking.
but, you know what I mean, for,
Yeah.
other expenses in other departments.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the CIP has got some ongoing
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
as the highway department truck and some other trucks and all that, so that's itself is,
It's gonna be daunting.
and we're indicating that the surplus was probably gonna be down this year again from, it was down last year, right? And,
We use some of it right now. So
yeah, to go against the tax rates,
Right.
and I don't know what the school, I mean,
Where do we?
yeah, that's a crapshoot.
And we still don't know how the lawsuit's gonna pan out.
No,
That hasn't been decided yet, I hope that gets done before.
will it deal with that,
Much
do they
longer.
expect to have an
After the
answer on
first
that?
of the year.
Yeah, last time we spoke with, Deb, the two Debs, they indicated, and I think it was Jeff maybe,
Mhm.
mentioned, you know, something after the first of the year.
Like you said, it'd be nice to have that,
Yeah,
a decision,
yeah,
one way or the other, like it or
Yeah.
not, at least you
Well.
could.
our school board's still pretty confident that they're in a favorable position, we'll see.
You gotta be positive.
Yeah,
Yeah. think, whatever we put forth as a warrant article, whatever you can put together as
Yep.
some good solid numbers and whatnot. So,
Well, what, I can give you more of an idea how far that would go, is what you're
Exactly, and I
basically
think it's-
asking.
exactly, I mean,
Yeah.
what,
Is it gonna be enough to finish Great Plain Road?
probably not.
Well, no, but I mean, if that would be the option, say, I come to you and say, listen, if we get $175,000 with what we have in the budget, and move the plan, we can go to house number 462 or something,
Right.
whatever, I mean, I'm just throwing that out,
Yeah.
there. Or to the town line, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said, just what we've got
Mhm.
binder this year is gonna be, you might as well call it $100,000. I don't feel that.
Just to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, if asphalt goes down a couple bucks a ton, you're talking,
Oh,
you're talking 1,000 tons of asphalt, so,
Yeah.
you're talking $2,000. You're not talking tens of thousands of dollars, on that particular part of it. It is a savings, don't get me wrong, but,
Take it any way we can get it,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
mean, I don't think it's gonna really fluctuate all that much. Because even though the price of fuel and stuff's down, there were so many years where it was
The price of
skyrocketing because of the
asphalt.
other costs, and now all the vendors, the contractors are getting a chance to make a little
Yeah.
other money, for equipment cost and all that. So they all kinda,
They're playing the game.
well, there's only a handful of them, and they all kinda, well, it depends. Typically what they do when they put it out to bid, X company will, they need $5 million worth of work to break even and make their profit or whatever they wanna do with the manpower to do. So they may bid a little more aggressively early on till they get several $1 million worth of work, and another company might hold off, and then they flop around a little bit. That guy's starting to get busy, and he's like, alright now, I gotta
Also
work
do seconds in the
overtime, my
States,
costs are
yeah.
gonna go up, so his price goes up a little,
Yeah.
so. Another vendor steps ahead of him by a couple bucks, and they all talk,
Oh, yeah, they
That's my though.
there's only 3 asphalt companies to buy the product
Yeah.
from too. And they all
Rocks,
have,
Continental and Pike.
and they all have,
That's it.
the same cost, liquid
Yeah.
asphalt, that's the driving factor.
Absolutely. Speaking of, costs, my couple of questions.
Yep.
You have admin highway part-time, then admin highway full-time.
Yep.
Overtime, those jumped up a little bit.
Well,
I guess you're expecting to work a little bit more.
it's just, right now with the part-time, we're at, was 30, when this number was crafted, whatever day that was. The 9th of my sheet, that is the 9th.
Yep.
So there's 3 pay periods left there,
Mm-hmm.
so that'll put it over the 35,
Right.
cause it was 34. And I'm
just,
you have to spend a little more time going out and talking to these people, myself, plus
I
the
understand.
part-time. The overtime, I just last year we spent a lot because of the snowplow.
Right.
With Pete's salary, he's the only one who gets overtime
Mhm.
because of weekends, holidays.
Right.
And he also got a little bit of a raise this year, other than the COLA, because he made his 3rd step,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Second step,
2nd step.
Yeah.
But 3-year second step, I don't know,
Yeah.
what, 40 some odd
I
cents
think
an hour or
3
something?
months
needed
was
a scorecard.
$460, so.
You gotta get a scorecard to figure it out, and then
Yeah, but so that was the other thing, I talked to Lean about this, for his regular salary, I carried the paper I have and I submitted, had
Yeah.
the old one, and she was gonna
I fixed
calculate.
it, which
She
is
was gonna,
correct.
so
On
her
his.
number that you have is,
42,053 is this year's COLA.
Gotcha.
And
you
then
follow what I'm
adjusted.
getting at with that, so I just, to be honest with you, I said, alright, well, we're gonna, kept it the same, put a little more of the part-time, added 1,000 to the part-time. I don't know, the way it's going,
He likes to work in round numbers, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
570 is easy.
Yeah.
yeah, and just,
And
No,
it
no, I
just-
just was wondering, I
Yeah.
didn't know if you had something else planned or.
Nope. Nope.
Just,
the,
So you went from 42,019 to 42,053?
Mhm.
So you're telling me he's only getting,
more than that,
yeah, a $45 raise, $44 raise for the year?
probably gets $800 more with a step increase. Isn't it like 40 some odd cents an
I'll
hour?
look at my numbers again, but
No,
that's
but I
what
was,
most of the pay increases are, it's like anywhere from
Yeah, but-
$18 to $28. for the year.
Yeah,
But you gotta be figuring it out.
No, but
It's $6,000 for 8 employees.
No, for all the employees.
Oh, yeah, right.
Everybody.
So it's gotta be at least, well, half of that's gotta be full-timers.
I wasn't even talking about
It's
the
gotta be
COLA
at
part.
least $3,000 or
His-
$4,000 just for the
Just
full-timers.
the step part?
So,
It's
yeah,
5%
you're figuring
for the
this
step.
long, yeah.
So what was that?
5% of 42, say 5% of
Maybe I was
42 would be
using
the
last
step
year's rate.
increase.
I have to look at my.
Well, it doesn't make any
I'll look
difference,
at
there
it.
was an increase there.
Yeah.
And I'm just, if it was 40 cents on
I think it
2,000
should be
working
increased.
hours, is $800.
Yeah. So you got $44.
Yeah, so,
I'll look at it.
whatever. We're
Didn't
kinda
adjust it.
splitting hairs at this point on
Yeah.
it, but
I
that's,
think it's
so-
$336.15.
From last year's.
Yeah.
But last year's 42.19 includes 3 months worth of step increase. So I have to look at it.
yeah, it's not,
It's not 100.
she's
that
working,
50
it was
yeah.
on his
That
anniversary,
50,
not
yeah,
a
his
window.
anniversary's October,
so
so
some
he
of
got
it
the
was
step in
beginning.
October. So
I know,
that's,
but what we're saying, we're gonna give them a COLA. The COLA starts from the first of the year. Just the
Yeah.
COLA is $330, $336.
It could be, I don't
And
know.
then you got
For
40
point
cents
eight?
from when did he start?
Yeah, it's
October.
0.008.
So this next year, you'll have it all year.
0.8%.
This coming year.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
12
I don't remember
months.
seeing
yeah.
any numbers like
Yeah,
that.
2,000,
So
he
he's
working.
gonna go up by like $1,100, $1,200
Yes.
just by himself.
42,019.
And
Count-
then-
count
times
this.
point
Count
zero
this.
zero
Counting his stepping.
Right.
And then when he works overtime,
Eight,
that's
right.
gonna increase the overtime,
equals.
That
follow
makes
what I'm
sense.
getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
That's
it's.
a year,
I use,
but then you take that and
Right,
divide
if
by
you
the
look at
hours.
that,
0.8%.
That's
It's
why
five,
I'm looking.
we spent 53
0.008. That's your multiplier.
in the first half of winter.
0.8% is equal to.
So I said, alright, I'm gonna bump that up because I knew those increased to 6. I mean, if you wanna cut it back to, we can cut it back to 5, but
That's
it's
why
just,
I
I was talking about the overtime thing. That's the only reason. It's just a guess.
No, I realize that.
Cause he went over on his overtime last year.
Yeah,
Mhm.
typically, we don't work overtime unless it's extenuating circumstances. Winter or an emergency.
So what line you wanna take that money out
Take what one?
I'll
of? So
adjust
you're
it,
gonna have to increase,
I'll adjust it.
What she'll do is take it out of the highway construction.
Yeah, see the one that ends in 47, that's the easiest one for me to adjust.
Yeah.
Right.
She'll,
I'll decrease that line and
she'll
decrease
decrease
that
that by whatever $100.
line. $300, $350.
it'd be $1,100.
She'll take it out of there.
Okay, what line is that?
1,100 for what?
She's gonna figure it out.
Construction.
He's gonna get between $1,100 and $1,200 more next year. Between the COLA and the raise he's getting,
The step increase.
step increase,
Okay,
okay? So, what line are we taking out of?
She'll just move it out of the construction line.
What is that?
260,000.
3 numbers down.
Oh, the paving?
Yeah, paving and
Okay.
construction.
So, okay, my
Because
next,
that's the easiest one for her to take it out.
okay, so that brings us to my question.
Yep.
Was, what is it you're planning on doing with the $260,000?
Part of that is our crack sealing money. What was gonna, one of the things I was gonna do this year was go up and work on Holmes Road and finish that, but it's, I don't know if you've noticed, but they have a logging crew move in there.
Yeah, what are they doing?
And they're
Logging.
logging
Yeah.
pretty,
Big time, they take a
Yeah,
lot
it's
out of
been
that.
a pretty-
That's not you that was cutting.
No.
Okay.
that's nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
That's Joe Soul actually is doing the project. So it was gonna be pretty hard to work there and do any of that when they were logging in and out with all their logging equipment and all that. Plus it was just gonna be a lot harder on the road for no good reason, so that kinda, we
Are
got
they
that.
hauling it out of Holmes Road, or are they hauling it up that,
They're
along
hauling it
that rock wall?
up the old road.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
Old Route 13.
yeah,
That's why they cleaned it up.
yeah.
So they went through there and cut
So,
it.
Wow.
Now, were you looking to put, I'm sorry, go ahead,
No,
Tom.
well, my question was, what are you gonna do with the $260,000?
That, so I was gonna go finish that project, that I was gonna finish it this year. Holmes Road. That one, we got some ditch work to do on, whatever, Ray Road, some other things, intersection improvement. Just fixing up different little problems where we have, and depending on this Grapevine Road
Mhm.
issue, what we do with that. When we're down on Grapevine Road, there's a short section in Guinea Road that's basically falling apart. We gotta do a little drainage there, and logistically, while we're working on Grapevine Road, for the paving company to shoot up there and pave a little section of Guinea Road, it makes sense, we're right in the area doing all, so there's a lot of little things like that. And I mean, if we, regardless of the warrant article, as I just got done explaining about that $100,000 just to top it, say the warrant article doesn't pass, that would come out of that 260. So that right off the bat leaves 160. Right? So then there's the other, rest of the project, I mean, we could spend probably $300,000 on grapevine.
Alone by itself.
Yeah,
Well, if you do the bridge on Stark,
yeah.
um,
We may have to contribute a little out of this to
Yeah.
make that all work, but we have 75, well, we actually used a little of that for, one of the bills that came in, was $65,000 in an account that
for,
earmarked
yeah,
for
cause
that.
that was earmarked, right,
Earmarked,
right, but, I mean, that may not cover all of it.
yeah, we may have to,
So you may have to take some of this
yeah, some of this
160
might
for
go
that.
to doing that too.
Yeah.
Does that answer any question, or?
No, not really.
Well, I mean, I mean,
I'm trying to get an idea of where the 260,000 is gonna be spent.
So you wanna list the projects that he's looking to put that money
Yeah,
towards?
you're saying do some ditch work on railroad.
and some other roads too that need it. We're getting caught up on that, we started on the other side of the town, worked our way around, been that way, and working our way that way. I mean, the road you live on needs a little bit of work. It's washing out down below your house, you know, so I mean, you know, all the roads need a little bit of work, $1,000 here, $1,000 there. But as
TLC.
far as major projects, Grapevine Road, Holmes Road, and Guinea Road,
You said railroad too, right?
yeah, well, that's more just the ditch work, not tearing up
Okay.
asphalt or anything like that.
There's no asphalt there to speak of.
Well, railroad?
Yeah.
Well,
Once you get further down, right?
yeah,
I had a thought, what the hell happened to it?
So how much of that 260,000 could you dedicate to grapevine?
I can dedicate all to it, not do anything else to it.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we
I'm
could
just
do that.
asking the question.
Yeah, I mean, if you could tell me where the warrant article's gonna pass or not, I could tell you. I can guarantee you, let's do it this way, I guarantee you we're gonna spend 100,000 of that on Grapevine.
Right, to
At least 100.
to do the second
Yeah,
quote.
at least 100,
Right.
whether we do, if we don't do any more or not. So, alright, that's out of the question. Well, I wanna keep moving on it, so we would take some more of that and do what we could do, but if there's only two,
Well, that was what
but
I
if
was
there's only
getting at.
260,000, I can't go that far, is what I'm trying to.
So you would take the 100,000 in a warrant article plus something out of this.
It's a matter of semantics,
No, I mean,
whatever,
that's what-
you know, yeah.
That's what you would do.
Like we
but
did
if-
this year, we added
Right.
money with it, we
Yeah.
didn't, and I said that last year, we take the warrant article, that isn't gonna do it all by itself, we gotta add some more to it.
Right,
It
yeah.
would be the same process.
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
you just do more of it if you had.
yeah, exactly.
Two,
yeah,
right.
that's,
I get it.
This is a week old, I realize that. According to this, you got like, $60,000 left in your budget for this year.
I don't think he does anymore.
No,
that's
Okay,
not
well,
true.
I just said that, it's a week
Yeah.
old.
we
How
just
much-
paid 8,000 for town forest sand,
Yeah, we got a $10,000 bill for
is
sand.
that been paid
Well,
yet?
eight-
No,
You just pay some more for some salt, I saw.
Yeah, it was one more load of salt,
it came in after I did the AP.
That's a-
like I said, you know, I mean, $5,000 in fuel. I mean, I didn't, seeing how the town gave us more money in a warrant article, I was typically in the past, was moving numbers around
Mhm.
and come down basically almost zero at the end of the year. But there's $5,000 there,
Mhm.
there's the tree cutting, as I explained to you about that. The way we took it out of the warrant article and not out of this, there's 7,000 there.
There's 10,000 I'm holding for sand.
Yeah. Well, 8 or something, I think it is, whatever.
You're not gonna have a whole lot of leftover to.
No, and then in the winter plowing part, there's 10,000 there. In the past,
That's gone, yeah.
well, in the past, we'd be doing, we're still doing some little projects, we'd be taking the money out of the plowing, cause we're not spending on plowing, if you follow what I'm getting at. Do you follow any of that too?
Well, yeah,
So, I mean,
understand if
that's-
you're gonna have 50,000 left over, you
We're
probably.
not gonna have 50,000 left over.
No,
I,
you you've got at least 30,000 outstanding.
Yeah, I was
right now.
gonna say, it'd
And
probably
payment
be
free.
close to the 25, I would say. Be an estimate when all the bills settle in.
Yeah, one more fuel.
Yeah,
That's usually $1,200, $1,400.
and you know, as I said, if we had got on that Holmes Road, there would have been a significant amount of a minute.
I know what I wanted to ask you, did you guys ever get a chance to chop down the brush and crap over there on
Oh,
Black
Tibbetts
Road?
Hill,
Black Brook into a
Yeah.
yeah.
after Lean gave me the letter
Awesome.
from
You know,
Sue
speaking
there.
of that, you know what I was thinking about, cause I come through that road every day.
Yeah.
And I see these people have the big, you know, concave reflective, or maybe they're convex.
Yeah.
Reflective, you know, mirrors out there. Would something like that, I wonder, help on that corner? Cause when you're coming out of Goffstown,
Mhm.
it is difficult to look, you know, to your right. And, I'm just wondering, you know, for folks who have mobility issue and can't turn, if
I
something
was
like
always
that.
kinda surprised they didn't tee it up better when they.
Yeah, I
did
know,
all
that's
that
an
whole
awful
intersection.
intersection where
Yeah, I mean, especially with
Yeah,
their
it'd be redone.
forethinking and
Yeah,
all that when they do projects.
cause
that's
those
kinda
cars
surprising.
come up, you know, behind you there pretty quick.
Can I throw a monkey wrench in that?
Yeah.
If we put a mirror up there or any type of device, now we own it, if somebody gets in an accident and they say, well, I looked in the mirror and it looked like
And I
they were
didn't see
100
anything,
yards down, or I didn't see them, and they were right there,
are we
then
on the hook?
we could possibly get hooked, I don't know, but.
Well, I see those things around, that's why I
Yeah.
threw it out there.
Well, it's usually mostly private people putting them across the street
Yeah.
so they can see how they're driving.
Well, I know as you
They
go out
own
of
it.
Dunbarton into Bow, there's a couple on that sharp corner in that little hill there.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how effective they would be in a situation like that.
Yeah,
There's another thing, knowing exactly where the town line is there.
yeah, I know, it's kinda sketchy.
Yeah.
I
Find the
guess,
base, huh?
talking, I guess,
Right,
Well,
the
wasn't
monument
Fred's,
site.
yeah,
Fred's
it's
putting the
Fred's
monument
son,
Yeah,
who works for Bartlett, right?
Yeah.
It's his son.
they're
They're
doing
doing
survey.
something with them,
Yeah,
replacing the monument.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that you didn't find it while you guys were cutting the brush, did you? The base that was broke off?
And we didn't cut the
What are
brush.
you looking for?
No, I didn't think they would, but I didn't know.
That was across the street,
Oh, okay.
and then Fred put the rest of it in the other one, town hall.
You got some base.
Yeah, you were on the, you come to the stop sign to the right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we went down and cut that shortly after
Yeah.
that.
Okay, awesome.
We could,
yeah, that's a.
I mean, I understand your point, but it's like,
No, it's just a suggestion, I didn't know.
no, but I mean, being able to see, but it's like,
But that's a tough corner.
yeah, but that's Goffstown,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
but I drive that road, you know, a lot of people do.
Yeah, no, I know, but
Right
it's,
now, get the rock
I will.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
gonna go to the town meeting.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, yeah, of course she was more than willing to give us permission to do it.
Right, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, whatever,
You can
but to
return it
answer
there.
your question, we did.
Do you have any more questions for Jeff?
I do not.
So you're working on one warrant article, and then the second one for your highway maintenance, the vehicles?
You want money for any capital reserve?
Yeah, I thought that was,
Okay.
yeah, the
Well, no,
25,000.
What meeting, so we can.
Automatic.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless it isn't, I mean, if it isn't, it isn't, but I mean, I just assumed it was, no?
Do you think you'll have that spreadsheet ready for January 7th, the
What
capital reserve?
Capital improvements?
Yeah, so that we can have
Yeah, we should
a
hopefully
list
have
of
I think by the 29th.
29.
We have a meeting.
So
on the 29th.
that would tie into that.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I just assumed, I thought that was. A brainer.
okay.
Yeah, we need 20 minutes.
Hopefully we'll put the finishing touches on that and have it ready for.
Yep.
So I guess you want me to just come up with a number for a warrant article?
Yeah.
And then we'll,
Negotiate from there, I guess.
I'd like to have one that would pass,
That's what I mean.
you know, I mean.
Yeah, cause then you might like 300,000 and we're thinking.
Well, I wouldn't ask for it.
I know,
I mean, I would, I just think it really is too much.
Yeah.
You know, and we just gotta find that happy medium, so we can, again, like I had this discussion before, keep moving ahead at a little faster rate than you thought.
Absolutely.
And it was, you know, if it was a perfect world, I'd like to finish right by
personally, I'd like to
side.
see Morse first.
Well, I mean, that,
There.
it needs it, I mean, it's,
Yeah, especially at Radio's corner there, I mean, it's just washboard, even without frosties.
oh, yeah, I mean, well, see, that's the other thing we're at, I mean, Ted's asking, well, what are you gonna do, what are you gonna do with the money? We gotta, have to start doing a little maintenance patching, because we're not gonna be able to do all these roads. So a section like Brian's talking about is just gonna have to be dug up a little bit, or just shimmed up and overlaid to buy some time. I mean, you know, there's two arguments to that, is, oh, it's a waste of money, but you can't do everything.
Yeah.
So some of it becomes a maintenance.
Well, it's just gonna get
Hey.
worse and worse to the point
Yeah.
where you're gonna,
You gotta hold it together, and that's why we gotta do a little section on Guinea Road, cause it's just nothing there.
you better. have
Water
dirt.
issue, and we're gonna dig up a little section that's probably not even 150 feet long, add some gravel, fix it, and patch it back together, and that'll be it. I mean, for that road, that's gonna be fine.
Right.
And we got other spots like that around town that we're gonna have to,
Hopefully we don't get to the point like Franklin did, where they actually tore up asphalt and made them dirt roads, class 5 dirt roads.
I
because
would
they
never
couldn't-
wanna do that. I
because
mean,
they
we
couldn't-
did that
They
to
couldn't
one,
afford
and
to take care of them when they were so bad.
Really?
They were better off being dirt than they were asphalt.
wow,
They don't have the money, cause they have a budget cap.
we did that to one, and it worked out fine on Tenny Road.
Mhm.
And that was an old oil and sand mix, and it was horrible, and that's, that type of road, it was fine, and it's
Right.
not a problem. But I would hate to think of doing something like that,
I
onto
agree.
Lona Road or Morse Road, or,
Yeah.
but if we do it, we're gonna do it to Twist Hill Road. Or Tucker Hill, maybe, let's do Tucker Hill.
Go right ahead and do twist up, 'cause I go to Bow all the time.
Alright,
Every time on my driveway, I go to work. No, but seriously, absolutely, right. I would hate to do something like that, but I mean, that's,
Yeah,
it has happened in other towns in the past.
I don't see this town doing that.
So, I think, I agree, I think if we have to do some patchwork, just like.
No, we have to do something, and again, like I said, on Ray Road, we gotta do some ditch work, there's some places up there's places where there's a dip in the asphalt 8 or 10 inches, because the bottom's just blowing out. It's just, little areas gotta be shimmed up and patched, and.
It's one car to bottom out and do it.
Well, and it just, you can't plow it in the winter, I mean, it just,
It beats up our vehicles as well.
yeah, that's what I mean, it's just places like that all over town. Like I said, I wasn't trying to be glib, but you know, $1,000 here, 2,000 there, before you know it. I mean, I usually get complaints at the end of, old Ford Estates, for whatever reason, the soil, I don't know what such it is, it's all moving around all the time, leaning out, and people call, there's potholes up there. Fill with potholes, and it's just uneven pavement, when you ride over, it's rough. So in the past, couple roads, we've done that, few feet in, 50 feet in, we've torn up and repaired that. I mean, cause that's where they start and stop, and then you can remove the snow better, and, you know, so I mean, we got some of those things to do too, the intersection improvements. And there's a long list of them.
Never ending.
Alright,
Thanks,
Thanks,
thank you
bye.
very much.
Good night.
you too.
Is that yours on the chair there, Jeff?
Probably. Yep, my paperwork.
Good night.
See ya.
Take care. Have a good holiday.
Yeah, you guys.
Alrighty. Alrighty. RFP, we'll backtrack to that.
Yeah, we only have one response, right?
Alright, well, I posted the warrant, or excuse me, the RFP in the paper on the website, and sent out 9 mailings. I received 2 back for undeliverables. I got 1 inquiry who came in and requested a map site. He said he was from southern New Hampshire area, and he did a lot of lawn care maintenance for Massachusetts, and he had done a little bit of research on our website in our minutes, and asked a few questions, and I called the school, said he would be over there, take a look at it, and he said he would submit a bid, but he did not. So, I have 2 returns, I received 1 bid, and this happens to be from Michael Underwood,
He's the current provider?
current lawn care maintenance person.
This feels just like the
Yeah.
insurance insurance, we only got one
Yeah,
bid.
yeah, and the roof,
Yeah, the roof, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I have to say that the one comment with the guy that came in the office was that the length of our RFP was pretty lengthy, and he said that, he was somewhat familiar with long RFPs because he does a lot of them in Massachusetts. But he said that he wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get a lot of response from that type of bid contract. It was just his opinion bringing it up, but
I don't feel comfortable with just one, personally.
No. No, I know that, the guy that does the cemetery claims he didn't receive it.
we
So,
saw the
yeah, I know, well, I know.
mailing and you saw
Yeah.
the invoice that we
Yep.
sent.
I know,
his
his billing
checks to.
comes, yeah, I know, so I don't know, I will, talk to him again, but,
Is that fair to this individual though? I feel like that we've had legal, advice from town council.
We have the right to take and not accept any bids and go back out to bid if we
alright,
want.
and we should let him know that we're doing that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he, no, he should be,
We are doing that? We already
no,
voted on that?
if we do
No.
it, sir.
Well, you said we
I'm
had.
sorry,
It just seems like you guys are trying to push your guy
no,
to
I'd
make
like,
sure he gets,
no, not at all.
well, that's the way it seems, I mean, the way you
No, I
guys have
understand
been
what
talking
you're
ever
saying.
since we've been doing this RFP, but you wanted to make sure that the guy doing the cemetery has a better chance of doing the
I
rest
just wanna
of the
make sure
town.
there's an opportunity. You know, we know
You know,
that,
we've done everything that we're supposed to, we put it in the paper, you mailed him the bid, if the guy doesn't respond, it's not our
yeah,
fault.
but you only have one bid, I don't care, so you don't ask this guy to rebid, but we still only have one bid.
We award bids many times, and we've only gotten one bid. I mean, with the roof, she didn't mail out 9 requests for bids.
No, I think we've done our due diligence,
And
I
I've
don't
got,
like
Yeah.
that.
I've
Done our
got
due
3,
diligence.
of which one didn't go
I
through.
mean, does anybody have any qualms with the guy that we have now?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
The
one
people
thing,
come in and complain all the time with the work he
oh,
does?
I think that because he's a current, vendor that we hire.
Yeah.
It would be
And
in
he's
the best interest of the town to look at and then if it's too high, then you can say, this is not acceptable, or.
No, you
know,
can't
put
do
it
that,
out-
you can't do
We can't
that.
open this up and say,
No,
we wanna put this out to bid
no,
again?
Yes, we can.
You can, but that's being really fair, now it's out in the open, this is how much I bid.
Okay,
Well, I bid 5,000.
Cause that goes into the minutes.
So the guy said, well, I was gonna bid 5,500, now I'll bid
Yeah,
4,800.
4,800, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
To me, that's not fair.
That's right,
Okay.
and I don't disagree with that at all, that's why if we were not going to take and just go with one bid, then I would just say we just, rebid the whole thing all over again and just put it out there for the first meeting in January, is what I would recommend.
I just wanna share my frustration with these RFPs.
You know, you think that
There's
they're
a lot
complicated?
of extra work for me, right now I'm coming into a busy time of the year, working on the budget. I don't feel like we're moving forward with this RFP. It's been a lot of work,
What, the lawn maintenance?
just the
No, the
RFP
RP in general,
Oh,
It has not been successful for the last 7 RFPs I've put out. I just feel like for this size town, a lot of people are aware of the budget amounts from past history. In the past, we had 2-page RFPs, and we got more results with a 2-page RFP. Criterias would be that they have a certificate of liability, they have references, they have, local advantage, and it was a good like Jeff likes to work with repeat vendors, because you folks do the same thing in your department. I just feel like every single one of the RFPs that I've put out this year has either had to go out twice, or has been prolonged 2, 3, 4 months past the initial due date, which becomes very problematic. I had individuals give me prices for slate and metal to create an RFP, and that individual, who is a local advantage, was following up with me regularly, every Friday, asking if the board had made a decision. And because you guys went through the process of the public hearing, and then listening to the public, he still didn't give up, he continued to contact me, but it's very, very exhausting to hear the frustration that I can't do anything with what I put out there, and try to get some response, you know, whether it's good or bad.
I find it interesting with that one though, cause I know with the cemeteries, we've used that exact format for at least 3 2-year cycles, so
But this
6 years, probably even longer than that, probably closer to 8. And we get at least 3 to 4 responses every time.
Well, the thing is, with this particular budget line item, it's been a known fact that it's been less than $5,000 in our budget for the last 7 years in the towns, on the town side. So you either have to be that individual who's been following or has had this line budget item to rebid it, so everybody knows that it's in that $5,000 range. If I go to bid it at 7 or 8 or 9, I'm not even gonna be considered, so they don't bother bidding anymore. And then the fact that the same individuals had the bid and gone through the bid process every 2 years and offered a set rate, it's been almost a guarantee, but the first year,
How long has he had the contract?
Oh, that's about 10 years.
Oh,
10
really?
years.
Yeah.
And he does a good job
Yeah,
every
no, I don't
single
think anybody's
time.
complaining.
My only, concern, this individual's gonna be looking for his income in the following year.
Yep.
It's just like the fuel for Dunbarton Fuel, do we put that out to bid, or do we try to work for local advantage? We know the reputation, the service, and it's all been,
But yet the town wants a bid policy, and then we gotta follow the bid policy.
if I look at his price and his offer, I can go with 3 quotes. The bid policy says the range of telephone quotes now. For purchases less than $5,000, employees are encouraged to do whatever is practical and secure competitive pricing from multiple sources. If I know if he's gonna give me a bid for less than 5,000, I could go and continue, just like I'm working on today and yesterday, we're working on the annual report. I've gotten bids from $9,000 to $4,700. I'm still working on it. I've contacted like 10 people in the last 2 days to get telephone quotes, to see if I need to go the next step. So I feel like I'm doing my job to try to secure the best prices, but in this case here, maybe I should have thought before I recommended a bid, because in the past, there was no dollar amount, it was just put this out to bid. Now I know, I'm almost guaranteed that this will be less than this $5,000, and I could technically do 3
So
telephone quotes.
so what has he been charging us in the past?
$3,900.
$39. You're right, you didn't need to go through the pain.
Yeah, I didn't.
But the sad part with the telephone poles like that, if you have someone like, okay, I want Joe Blow, they're gonna give me a bid for $4,000, I'm gonna contact somebody else, God knows who, that's gonna charge 10,000, another one's gonna charge 11, you can take and manipulate, you can manipulate the system.
No, I understand that, but
Well,
that's true with anything, not
Hence
just
why
with
you go
that.
with
This is
No, I
why
get that,
with the last 2 years, I've had the same provider,
sure.
okay? But I've got 10 quotes coming in.
Now,
I've
is
got
your-
3 so far, the 4th one's asked for more information,
Sure.
so that'll be 4, and I'm waiting to hear from all these others, and there's like 10 of them
And
in
has your
Concord.
past provider already given you a quote on that?
He has,
And
but I'm gonna wait until
is
next
he low guy at the
meeting.
moment?
And he is.
Yeah.
I've got under 5, 7,000 something, and the other one is like almost 9,000, almost 10,000.
That's what it costs us to print that out, huh?
Depending on who you are.
Wow.
I mean, and I go to Sir Speedy, I've got FedEx giving me, a price, cause they do printing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going all over the place, I'm trying to work with these guidelines, but I don't have a lot of time to nickel and dime, the budget. I wanna make sure I have some secure numbers so that I can say this is what I need.
Has the current vendor ever been extended on his bid? You know, how we can extend a year, has he already gone
This-
through that?
Yes, that's what this last 2 years was, an extension.
That all being said, what's the flavor of the board?
And we don't have any no bids, right, other than just stuff that came back in the mail?
Two came back and nine letters went out, and I got one.
Well, I think we've done our due diligence in terms of sending out, you know, RFQs, postings, website, all of that.
I mean, I still don't feel comfortable only having one.
No, me either, I'm not excited that we're only getting one bid.
Mhm.
I mean, that's, you know, it's a lot of work for no reward.
And it's not like the RFP is really, it's not rocket science.
We got the same response with the roof for
Yeah.
the library.
Yeah.
I mean, I can show you a metal, standing seam metal roof bid that went out for dread for the forest section. The sucker had to be at least 70 pages long.
Yeah, but we're not the state, we're a
No, I
town.
know, but I mean, we're just talking putting a metal roof
And
on a
there's
building.
probably a whole department that that works with just the RFPs and that.
Sure. But I'm just saying, I mean, but yet, they get bids in from roofers and stuff, they put the numbers in.
Those are big numbers for them to work with.
Actually,
Even our roof, if
that
anybody
roof
did
was
any.
more expensive than the one that I was talking about. This one's more expensive.
Yeah,
That one was only like $40,000.
asphalt,
No, standing seam metal roof,
same.
and that's even putting in,
Well, it's already 10 o'clock, so what would the board like me to do?
that's
Put it out to bid, get some telephone quotes? I feel from past experience in the budget line, $5,000 is what I think the board, previous boards
That's what we've always kind of like.
budgeted. So if I go with that number and try to seek 3 telephone quotes. And if I see they're coming in over 10 grand, and then yes, I'm gonna have to,
I'm okay with the telephone quotes. If you wanna do it that way, personally.
I think that's, if I'm following the bid part,
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
then I feel comfortable with reaching out there for,
Be different if it was $10,000.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, make a couple of calls, I mean,
Leave this one sealed and just make some calls.
yeah, make some calls and see what folks will give you.
Okay, I'll work with getting some prices, but if they're in that $5,000 range or higher,
That's okay.
then it puts me in a different, I mean,
Oh,
I
it does.
think that I need to open this and to be fair to him.
Well,
if
you
he's
can
gonna
open
be-
it on your own,
Right,
Yeah,
be part of the phone call,
because it would be the same as if you
Telephone.
called.
yeah, make a
Yep.
phone call,
yep,
yeah.
so,
Oh, absolutely.
telephone quotes.
But you can't let other people know what people are told.
Oh, I
you
know
can't.
that,
No,
I know
absolutely.
that, yep.
That's all I do.
It's none of their business. Give me a bid, see you later. Yeah, it just shocks me that I mean, is business that good up there that people aren't chasing $5 grand?
Hey, Epson just put out an RFP for, I think it was $1.5 million for a safety complex.
Yeah.
They got one bid,
Business must be
$1.5
good,
million,
must be good.
so they got one bid. So,
Okay.
So, you signed the health trust.
so they called all these people that they sent RFPs to, they said, well, how come you didn't bid? Well, you guys have shot this down twice already. We're not gonna spend all this time making out a bid, which in all likelihood will be shot
They
down
just
again.
shut down again. Yeah, so they didn't wanna go through the motions. Appropriate the money, then we'll talk to you. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Okay, we'll come back with this
All right.
on the 7th.
Alright, we got a letter here from Pam.
Yeah, looks like a
It's in your
follow on,
packet.
huh? Looks like a follow on to, conversation she had with us.
Yeah. Alright, December 17th, just like.